Pay attention to the material possessions that you hold on to, because what you're holding on to may be holding on to you. We're talking about energy today. Hello, 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 and thank you for watching or listening to the Manifest on Purpose show. I am the host, Kimbaley, and it's all about elevating your state of mind. Thank you so much for joining me today, as always. Thank you for all of those you invite, and thank you for subscribing here and on the website at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. I have a very important message about energy that's connected to today's story. But before we get into that, we're going to hear the astronumerology forecast for today, courtesy of astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. It is Monday, November the 25th. The sun is in Sagittarius. The moon is in Libra. It's a 1 universal month, a 5 universal week, and 8 universal day. A famous motivational speaker once said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve." This is so true. Part of the process is to see the image or images of your desires on the mental screen of your mind and bring as many of the physical senses, such as touch, smell, see, and etc., into the image imagined. And if there are such things as miracles, then today just may be one of them. Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, and those born on the 8th, the 17th, and the 26th know exactly what I'm talking about. Love that forecast for today. Thank you, Lloyd Strayhorn, for that. And that is courtesy of the Astro Numerology app, a Star 8. You can get your app to get your forecast daily at a star8.com, ASTAR, the number 8.com. You can also download on Google Play, the App Store, and at linktree.ee/numbersanyou, where you can gain access to his other exclusive products and services. The year is passing by fast and it's about to be 2025, which is going to be a very transformative year for everybody. Make sure that you have a guide in life and a roadmap for the year of 2025 to navigate. You can get your astronumerology forecast for the entire year at Kimbaley.com, KIMBALEY.com. And this will help you go month by month throughout your year to see what you can expect and find out how you can prepare for the upcoming shifts and transitions for the year ahead. You can also get your personal report, your compatibility report, and you can get a business report. And if you want to get a little bit deeper into that, you can book your astronumerology consultation, and you can do all of that on Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. Today, I have a lot to say about energy, and it's going to happen through the story that I'm about to tell. So let's get right into today's story. First and foremost, this is a very personal story and a very intimate story. It's one that I really don't share often. So I say that to say this story is just between me and you. Please don't share this story with anybody else. I'm kidding. If it can help someone, please do share it. But the reason why this story is so personal and private to me is because I'm talking about one of the biggest breakups I've ever experienced in my life. Now, I know that what I'm talking to you today is about energy, but I have to first give you the backstory of everything that happened so you can see how the energy played out in this. And I too know that there's someone that may be listening that may can relate to this story. And so maybe this is going to be something that's helpful to you as well. The breakup that I'm talking about, the one that took a long time for me to get over, is actually the breakup between my mother and father. This happened when I was a young child. I can't even remember the ages. That's how things were at that time. I would say early grammar school when all of this went down. And it didn't happen at once. See, when I was born, my mother and my father were together, and I could not understand, the dynamics of what was going on behind the scenes. All I knew is how I was being treated and how things appeared to be during the time that I was a child. I was the first. And so, of course, quite naturally, when I came, my dad took me on as his little boy. And he just took me everywhere he went. We watched sports together. We would sit and watch the football game together. Everywhere you would see him, you would see me as well. And we built a bond in between us that was unbreakable and unshakable, really, to the very end. My brother and sister came along, and he had to spread out that joy a little bit more. But then is when I took on the role as being the responsible one and kind of like put in charge of everybody else. It was like nothing was taken from me. It's just that I had a different role at that time because the real boy came along. And of course, everything he was doing with me, he had to do with his son. And so I just moved on to be like the responsible one of all of the children. So, anyway, I noticed that one time that my mother and dad were having problems. And I don't know what happened, but every now and then I would see arguments. And I thought, no big deal. We were used to that. But as a family, we did things as a unit. We always went out. My dad and mom always made sure we had everything that we wanted. We were able to get the toys and go eat out like we wanted to. We were just able to get some of the things that we wanted as children. And one night, my mom and dad had a big argument. And next thing you know, someone was coming to pick my mom and my siblings and I up to take us away. And that's when we found out the reality of everything. Mom was leaving dad. And it's like, just as suddenly that happened, our lives changed because when they were together, they were able to do things for us as a family. But immediately, it's like that family separated. And we were living a whole different life, one that we didn't kind of understand and one that we didn't quite get. I just felt like, I don't know about my other siblings, like, why don't they just get back together, not knowing the dynamics of an adult relationship? And after wishing that for a while, they did get back together and they moved to another place, took us with them, and it was just like old times. We were happy. My dad and I, we had a new thing that we used to do every Saturday morning. We'd get up, he'd sit on one end of the table, I sit on the other end of the table, and we would sit and read the newspaper together. He would read maybe the sports section or some other section. I was always interested in the funnies or advertisements. And one day I was flipping through this newspaper and I saw an advertisement for this little elephant pendant, and it was cute. And what the advertisement was saying, that this is a lucky pendant, send no money now. And I thought, you know, maybe if I get this pendant, then things would stay happy like they are now. So I ordered the pendant, and of course, I'm a child, so I was unable to pay for it. And I don't know whatever happened to that, but I kept the pendant. And I carried this pendant with me everywhere, thinking that it was my good luck pendant. And one day, my dad and I were sitting out front of where we were staying. We were living right on the beach. And so you would see the ladies walking past in their bathing suits and their bikinis all the time. And my dad, being a man, asked one of the young ladies, what's your name? And she told him, and he wanted to know how old she was. And so it was just like a little flirty conversation. And for me, of course, I'm going to sit there and wait to see everything he said, but I'm going to run back in the house and I'm going to tell my mother. And that's what happened. And wow, it was the biggest blow up argument I had ever seen. And the crazy thing about it is that not long after that, it probably seemed like weeks, we were packing up, we were moving back. Mom and dad were separated for real this time. And I was torn. And I was thinking, it's this pendant I got. I thought this was supposed to be a lucky pendant. This pendant brought me bad luck. And it's kind of amazing how at that age I felt that way. And I just kept thinking about this on a daily basis, like if it had never been for this pendant. And one of the things I was thinking is that it was because I did not pay for the pendant. So I was like, the thing about this pendant is, since I've had the pendant in my life, instead of having good luck, I started to have bad luck. I just put the two and two together. And one day I said, you know what? I got to get rid of this pendant. So I took the pendant and I went across the street and I dug a hole and I buried the pendant. Then my mom and dad get back together. No, they didn't get back together. But in due time, I felt as if I began to heal from what was going on, and I was able to cope and manage with the experience that I was having at such a young age. What the conversation is really about is our material possessions and energy. The one thing we know about energy is that energy is in everything, whether we think it's living or not. It's in everything. Energy is unescapable. And I think that one thing that a lot of people don't understand is you have the ability to charge even material things with your energy. You have the ability to charge people with your energy, whether you're aware of it or not. So sometimes, so sometimes, you are placing your energy or the resonance of your energy into something else and you don't even realize it. Take, for example, you could be writing. Depending on what state of mind you're writing in, the words on that paper, whatever you wrote, is energetically charged. We talked about the 2-cup water method, where we clearly had to put labels on each cup, and we had to label the cup according to what we wanted to transform that energy with. You, in doing so, was charging that. With that pendant, I wouldn't say that it was a good luck charm. I wouldn't say it was a bad luck charm. I would say that I charged that pendant with my energy. So instead of the pendant passing on energetic frequency to me, I was more so passing on an energetic frequency, just like people. You can be around a person and you can transfer your energy to that person, or vice versa. They can transform their energy over to you. Remember, I just had a conversation about be careful of energy vampires. Because if a person is around you for a long period of time and it's repetitive and they're constantly negative, they're going to transform that energy to you, because energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transferred or changed. So we have to be careful of the material things that we hold on to, the material things that take up so much meaning in our life, because these things can have an energetic frequency that really can be passed on to you. It could be an energetic frequency of yours, or it can be an energetic frequency of someone else's. I remember one time I was speaking with one client and she had trouble getting rid of this person that she was with. And at first, it was her really, and it wasn't like in a physical way, it was just like she couldn't get her mind off that person. And so after a while, I worked with her and I worked with her. The same results were happening. So I did a guided visualization, which was a walkthrough of her home. And when I did this and she got to her closet, she began to remember that this person still had some of their belongings in her closet. And so as a result, that's that person's energetic frequency still in her home. So that's why you have to protect your energy. And some of the things that you should be doing to protect your energy is you should make sure that if you're purchasing something from somebody else or receiving something from somebody else, make sure that the intentions are the best. And not only that, when you do, make sure that you energetically cleanse whatever it is that you take in. For example, you can imagine in your mind that you are cleansing it. You can make an affirmation, create an affirmation saying that you are cleansing this. You can use sage, you can use palo, you can use anything that is protective energy to cleanse those items. And at the same time, you should be aware when you're giving things to other people. What energy are you giving in? I guess that's why some people say, are you in the spirit of giving? Meaning, this is something that you really want to do. You're giving out of love, you're giving from your heart. That's why you must pay attention. And some things you just don't accept at all. And some of those things I don't even have to go over those, but some things you just can't accept, so personal effects and personal items that you wouldn't use behind someone else. So what I'm saying is you make sure that everything that you get, no matter where you get it from, you cleanse it. And you make sure if you hold on to it, you cleanse it. And another example about this is there was a fashion designer, and you may know this person by name, but this fashion designer committed suicide. But after the designer was deceased, the line was still out and probably still is out. And I refuse to buy anything from that line. And it's not saying that I don't like the stuff, but you know what? I did feel an energy about it that I never liked the line before, even before the person committed suicide and I heard about what happened. I didn't like the fashion designer's line in the first place, but definitely after the fact, I knew that I didn't want to get anything from, or I wouldn't give anything to anybody from that particular designer, because I feel like we also have to think about the creator of things. Let's think about us. We always hear that, you know, the God within and the creator within us, so we are an expression of the creator, and luckily that's a good thing for us. However, we are all creators within ourselves. So, what about the people that are creating things for you? If a person is creating something for you, or if a person is creating something and they're creating it out of anxiety, or they're creating it out of depression, you can pretty much ascertain that that energy is going into whatever they create. Because when you're creating something, you're using your energy. So the person that purchases that thing is also accepting, or the receiver of that energy. So it's important, like, whomever you follow, whomever you purchase from, You have to have some kind of clue or indication of who that person is. What type of energy is this person walking in? Even with the music that you listen to, you know for yourself with music, there's some music that make you feel good. There's some music that makes you feel love. And there's some music that's downright depressing. And whatever you choose to listen to, it will become you. So we have to be careful of the intake that I always talk about, the things that we allow into our lives. And it's really preventative care, making sure that we only take the best part for ourselves. So that's really what it's all about. The thing with my mom and dad, the truth of the matter is, that was the last breakup. And it took me a little while to get over the fact that I was not the cause of the breakup. But there was something else I had to get over. I had to get over that stale energy that I took in, that belief that it was because of that pendant that was causing everything to happen. A belief is a thought that you keep on thinking. Because I took that in and because I believed that, it became my reality to carry on that energy. That pendant probably didn't bring that luck to me. It probably was already going to happen. But really, what happened, I infused my energy into that pendant. And at that point, I felt like the best thing that I could do is to get rid of it. Think about the items that you purchase, the things that are around your house. What things seem to be out of place? What things are you holding on to? Sometimes it's a little bit deeper than what you believe it is. Whether it's a lover that you can't quite get over because they still have their energy in your home, or if it's some of your material possessions that have just taken on an energy of itself. Pay attention to the energy that you allow into your life. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.